Hey everybody, it's Troy again, and another video. Had some stuff going on since my last video, so I figured I'd give you guys a few updates, and I decided to have a co-host today. This is one of the newest and youngest fountain pen collectors I know. This is my son, Matthew. Say hey.
Hey.
Matthew, how old are you, buddy?
7.
7. You're going to be 8 in just a couple weeks, right? So, he's my buddy. He's my collecting buddy now, since he's into fountain pens as well. And now even his mom, who was kind of resistive at first, is really getting into the hobby too. So just today she says, I'm addicted to it now. So now she's got all kinds of favorites saved or added to her wish list on Amazon. She wants me to look through there for pens that she likes. So anyway, a couple of the things that we've had in my collection and what I've been doing. I'm going to start with this. Now that my son is into the hobby, Matthew, why don't you show your pen collection a little bit? Okay, go ahead and let's hold that up. Well, first, let's hold this up for everybody. See, he's got. I gave him my little carrier thing here. This is what started him off. It was just a Jinhao 5.99. Now, if you've seen my videos before, that's the pen I was giving away, and I ordered a bunch of them, and I gave him one of my first $5.99 pens, and we inked it up with some green ink, and he was doing his homework when the school was still in session with that. So from there we just added to it when he decided that he wanted to collect. So we gave him Jinhao X450.
Which is poppy red ink.
You like that poppy red ink, do you?
And this is cactus green.
Yeah, the Noodler's Cactus Green Eel. I gave him this pen. We'll talk about this pen in a little bit. This is an Ahau. It's a 99-cent pen from China. When I first got, I put a Diatramentus blue black in it, I think. It wrote horribly. And I just put it away for a while, and I'll talk a little bit more about that.
And I like the ink.
He likes that ink too, okay. And here you've got this is a Bauer. I don't remember the model number offhand. I'd have to look at the list, but he's got himself a nice little Bauer. And this has got a nice ink in it too. Do you remember what it is?
Which is one of my newest pins.
Yep, he just got that one not too long ago, so we've got a really nice ink in that. Let's see, what else? You've got a Platinum Preppy.
Which is a black ink.
Yep. Now, if you remember some of my previous videos, I had a whole family growing of Esterbrooks. I'll talk more about Esterbrook here in a little bit. But I gave him one of my gray Esterbrooks because I had 2 of them of exactly the same thing. So.
And this is my second newest pin.
And if you saw my last video, I also had one of these. This was just a Schaefer No Nonsense from the 1980s. It had an italic nib I really didn't like, so I ordered some more nibs for mine. Well, it came with another pen, so I got 3 nibs, and you know what? They all turned out to be calligraphy nibs. Not what I wanted. So anyway, so I gave him one of those.
And this is my newest pin.
Yep, he just got
it today.
Just today. So cool.
I went ahead and put ink in it. I don't think I've tried it yet.
No, you got a nice blue ink in there. So, the Bauer was a 517. I think that's what you got. So I actually wrote that in my notes. So you got a Bauer 517 right here. So let's go over a couple of my new purchases that I've got. We had pen mail this week, and one of the things was one of these little deals. You may recognize this. This is a Pilot Varsity. It's a nothing special, disposable ink pen. It's like a $3.50 disposable fountain pen. It's designed that once you're done with it, you just chuck it. You get rid of it. You don't put a cartridge in it. You don't refill it. There's no converter for it. So I figured, what the heck? And it writes okay. It doesn't write fantastic. In that same shipment, I've got this. Some of you may recognize the Faber-Castell Loom. And I wish I could tell you how it writes, but I can't, because I was dumb enough not to realize that Faber-Castell does not include a converter with it. So rather than try to put an international standard cartridge, which, by the way, they jammed it way in the back, so I thought I didn't even have one. Well, I've got international standard cartridges. The bizarre thing is, it takes an international standard cartridge, yet at the same time a proprietary converter. I've got international standard converters laying around the house that I could have used, but no! They've got to take a proprietary. So I've got a converter for that on order. Something that was kind of neat that came in the mail, and I've liked most of the Lamys. You've liked my Lamys.
Yes.
Matter of fact, your $5.99 is based upon a Lamy. And that Lamy is going to be my carry pen of the day. But this is a Lamy. You can see right there on the finial. It's got the L for Lamy.
Can I see?
Not right now, buddy. But this is a well, I don't know if you call that semi-hooded nib or not. But my cat is trying to get into this video, and here she comes. But this Lamy 99 is something very similar to what I thought I had in my collection that was similar to was my Montblanc 32. You can tell that they're fairly similar in height. I got the black lacquer with gold trim on them both. The barrel length on the Montblanc, with the cap is longer on the Montblanc than is on the Lamy 99. And they both twist off. They both they both have similar nibs. They're both from the 60s, so I guess that was a style back in the 60s. So one has a clearer, or in this case, a little ink window there. This here. So anyway, I thought that was kind of neat and interesting that they were fairly similar in adding to my collection. So I added that Lamy 99, and the Lamy 99 actually writes better, I think, than the Montblanc 32. Quit showing off your shirt, son. Let's see, what else? Oh, a Schaefer student pen. I already had one of those in my collection, and this wasn't not expensive. So I went ahead and just ordered a fairly inexpensive old Schaefer student pen. Like $4 or something like that. And I had one that was clear in the barrel. This one was a pretty blue. So I went ahead and got that. Let's see. Oh, wow. The big thing now, the biggest thing lately is how TWSBI had come out. And I'd never owned a TWSBI. But TWSBI had come out with their something I wasn't real fond of the color, but they came out with kind of a turquoise, a TWSBI turquoise. Well, I've had on my wish list for quite a while a couple of TWSBIs. And then Birmingham Pens in Birmingham, Alabama had a deal where if you order any TWSBI product, they would give you a free bottle of their own brand of ink. I said, well, it's the same price as I've been looking at everywhere else, so that was the time to buy. So I went ahead and I got a TWSBI Eco. I kind of like it. What I'll do is I'll also show you some of the writing samples that I did, both that Lamy 99 and this nice little TWSBI Eco. So I'll show you what I've got that. I can tell you this. I've heard about TWSBI for a while. I've seen TWSBI in people's top 10 lists for pens under $50. This was about 30 bucks, I think. And I know why it was on their top 10 list, because actually when I got it, it wrote very, very smooth, to the point where my wife tried it and she kind of wanted to steal it. So I put some Pilot Namiki Blue in it, and I'll show you how that wrote. Let's see. Oh, the Ling Mo. Had this on order for quite a while. It took a while for it to show up. Got several demonstrator pens, and I'll compare and contrast some of the demonstrator pens that I've got. But here is my my Ling Mo, and I went ahead and inked that sucker up just today. It showed up today, and I put a J. Herbin Poussière de Lune, which means moon dust. It's kind of a funky purple, but so it writes okay. I can't complain. You know, I got a medium nib on this thing, and it writes okay. I don't think it writes as good as the TWSBI Eco, but I do think it writes better than, let's say, the Jinhao 599. They're very similar in appearance, but it does write a little bit better. And then this particular pen here, which is a Wing Sung 698, that I actually like. And I do believe I've got like a Diamine Imperial Blue. It's an Imperial Blue either way, whoever manufactured it, but I really like that one quite a bit, so I'll show you that. And of course, you know, one of the ultimate inexpensive ones, like the Preppy, the Platinum Preppy, what my son likes. I had two of these, so I gave him one. I use one every day. The Platinum Preppy writes very well.
This is a black ink, and I like the way it writes, which is probably one of my favorite inks in my collection.
Yep, so all it has is a platinum cartridge, black cartridge in it. So, a couple other things that I picked up. Well, I can't show it to you right now because it's my wife's pocketbook, and I'm not about to go raid her pocketbook. But I also picked up her a Nemosine or a Nemosine, I've heard it pronounced both ways, Singularity. So we got that in the mail just yesterday, and we inked that sucker up, and it writes very, very well. I was very surprised for a $15, $16 pen, I think it was. It writes very smoothly, and I can show you guys in a little bit an ink sample of that. Something else I picked up that was something that was recommended to me at a workshop at the last pen show I went to, was to pick up a heat gun. So I went on eBay, and they're not all that expensive. I think I paid 15 bucks for this. Been having some problems. For those of you who have followed any of my videos, I kind of like the Esterbrook's. And most of the Esterbrook's, like he's got right here in his hand, you can go ahead and show that, they're lever-filled pens. They're old style, and I like Esterbrook's for several reasons. Number one, it's a twist cap. Some are better than others, but they also have, I forgot we inked this one up, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got some Noodler's bad black moccasin in this one. So I was actually thinking we'll take off the nib because the nibs screw out and they're modular like that. I really like that, and this little cap liner keeps coming out, so we're gonna have to glue that sucker back in. But anyway, I really like some of the Esterbrook's I've had. Some nibs are better than others. Some nibs are worn to heck. I do like that they've got dozens of different options. Obviously, they're not a name that's around anymore in their old form of the classic pens from the 1940s like this one. Esterbrook is around again. Another company has licensed the name, and they produce pens, but they're nothing like the old historical pens that they do. So, but sometimes it's tough to get the nibs out. So I used, I got a heat gun, and I had actually ordered one that was like this, only it was green. So one of the problems with the Esterbrook that I bought that was green, I think that there was a crack in it somewhere around the threads. And also, it seemed, you see this is a lever filler. Inside the body is the ink sac, which is basically a rubber bladder. And there's some metal J clips that attach to that lever. And that lever, when it's open, squeezes that clip down. And that clip squeezes that ink sac. And that causes basically an aeration, and it forces either vacuum or propulsion of the ink. So that thing fell apart when I first got the thing open. So I knew there was a problem, but when I was trying to get the section out, it started to crack, and break. So I broke my first fountain pen. That's a good and a bad thing. Number one, I learned about it some, and I knew that I really needed this heat gun thing that I was wanting. So I went ahead and got it. I'd already looked at it. I think I may have even already had it on order. I just tried to pull it apart without using it. So I had this particular thing. This is one I really like. I feel like I live at a bank teller's window. This is another Esterbrook. This is a desk set. So this is a pretty heavy weighted thing. Here, pick that up, buddy. Pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So, when you go to a bank or you see old desk sets, you get a nice weighted thing. This is from like the 40s or 50s. Esterbrook, all it says is Esterbrook made in USA, is all it says on here. But it's the exact same nibs, the exact same section, the exact same lever filler, and ink sacs. Everything about it's the same. It's just a different shape, and there's no cap to it. When you're done with writing with it, you just put it in there and you set it down. Now that has been great because it sits at my desk all the time now. So I've always got a nice black, and I put the same black ink in that you've got in your Esterbrook right there. Not that one, but the same thing I put in your Esterbrook. Yep, that's got the Noodler's bad black moccasin in it.
This is also bad black moccasin, and I like the way it writes. And this is one of my favorite pens to look, and I like the way it writes.
So we got a pen critic in the making right here.
And
So
one of my favorites.
yep. So those are some of the things. Some of the other things, inks. Oh man, one of the things, if you haven't already checked it out, gouletpens.com is having Inkapalooza right now. So they've got ink samples, and I got a bunch of those, and I'll show you a quick picture of all my ink samples now that I've got. I normally keep them in my Yoda, but my Yoda bucket, which is actually in my office today. We're actually filming in the living room area. So. But a whole bunch of those. I picked up some Noodler's Green Marine, Noodler's Bad Black Moccasin, which I'd only used previously in samples. Went ahead and ordered a bottle. Diamine Sargasso Sea, the same deal. I had already sampled that, so I ordered it in a bottle. Robert Oster's Fire and Ice. I had sampled it, liked it, so I went ahead and ordered a bottle of it. Noodler's Liberty's Elysium. Sampled it, liked it, so I bought a bottle of it. Along with my TWSBI Eco, I got a free thing of Andy Warhol's Pop Purple that came, and so maybe I'll do that up in a pen here pretty soon. Got my Lamy bottle of Pacific Blue. I went ahead and got that because it was on sale. Ton of ink samples, so that's pretty cool. On order, though, I've still got like an Artis 44 European pen that's on its way, a Pelican M150, another TWSBI Eco, don't tell my wife, an ultrasonic cleaner to help me clean up some of these pens, some number 6 nibs, about 4 of those. I've got a few cheap replacement pens to replace the ones that ended up in Schmedley's collection over here. So I've got some
pins?
Yeah, I got 7 of them now, I think. So I've got, an A-How. I ordered a new A-How for me just because it's a 99-cent pen. Why not order a replacement? Another one of these Bowers. So I'm still waiting for those to come. Another really cheap but pretty Jinhao with some painting on it. Another Jinhao 159. I've got one. My mother-in-law liked it. I ordered one for her, and my wife then liked it, so I ordered one for her. So anyway, so on my notes was to talk about that desk set. So we've already done that. I was able to use some of the parts because one of the things of that desk set, I waited until that heat gun arrived because that section wasn't coming out at all. So the pliers, it's not coming out, so that's it. I had one totally break on me. I'm not going to have another one. So what I did was I waited, and I'm glad I did because that heat gun works slick. So pulled that sucker right out, and it's good that I used it because that section was warped. I mean, it was not perfectly round. It was kind of flat on a couple of sides, so I said, well, that's good. Since the old one had the broken pressure bar and lever assembly, fine, and the broken barrel, chucked those, but I was able to use that thing I took out of it, that section out of it, and use that. So, other news. Oh, the pen giveaway. I talked about my pen giveaway that I had, where I had like 36 of these Jinhao 599s.
He gave me one.
Yeah,
which
he was one of my
this red one.
One of the second pen I had went to him. Here's the deal. I had 36 of these suckers right here. All right.
I liked mine.
Yep. Well, I'm down to like 6. So out of 36, I've given away 30 of them. Now you can see the fruits of one of them right here when he had his own pen, got to play with it, started writing with them, and then he kept trying to come in and start to write with mine, and he kept checking out my collection.
Most of the inks, I like most of his pens, and these are my favorite pens.
Yep. So just to let you know, so many people have commented and seen that video that I did on a pen giveaway. Started out with 36. I just got 6 of them left, so I'm going to have to possibly order some more. Let's see, what else? Oh, I told you I was going to contrast some of the demonstrator pens. So these are my demonstrator models that I've got. I'm going to count TWSBI amongst them, okay? Kind of like them. I didn't know what to think about demonstrator pens at first. Didn't know if it was worth getting or not. But the Jinhao 599 is a $2 pen. It's the cheapest among them. And then today I got the Ling Mo. I think I paid $9.99 or so for the Ling Mo. I may be wrong. I'd have to go look it up. And it looks very similar to the $5.99.
It really does.
So I don't know if I just got ripped off and I got a Jinhao just being relabeled as a $5.99, or if the $5.99 is a knockoff of the Ling Mo. I don't know. But I can tell you the Ling Mo, for me, did write a little better than the $5.99. But I got those, and then of course the Wing Sung is almost a knockoff of a TWSBI. I didn't order the clear TWSBI. I thought about it, but I spent the extra 99 cents and got the black because I liked it. So, and the TWSBI was about 30 bucks. The Wing Sung was 16. I think the Ling Mo was $9.99 and $2 for the Jin Hao. Now, is it worth the extra 4 times the price, 5 times the price for the Ling Mo over the Jin Hao? I'm thinking probably not. Is it worth it though to step up to the Wing Sung? I'm going to the top of my head, $5.98. I can look it up here in my book. Yeah, actually, that's a good writing pen. It's also a very pretty pen. I really like it. And then the TWSBI Eco, like I said, heard a lot of great things about TWSBI, and that was worth the 30 bucks to get a nice TWSBI. It was smooth right out of the box. Inked it up, wrote fantastically, haven't had any problems with it. So I like those. Already compared and contrasted a little bit the Lamy 99 and the Montblanc 32, and which do I like better? I paid less for the Lamy 99, about $20 less, and I'll be honest with you, I think I like the Lamy 99 better than my Montblanc 32. You had something you wanted to say, buddy?
Yes, I wanted more of this brand because I like different colors, but once I found out it was the same brand, $5.99, I didn't really want it, but on eBay I found about 13 more pins I wanted.
Yep. Now, consider, folks, one of the things I told him is he's going to spend his own money to acquire some of the pens. I'm not going to buy them all. I'm not going to give them all. But since he does get money for birthday and Christmas and stuff, if he wants more pens, then he's going to have to start buying them. He just needs to realize his birthday is coming up in just about
3 weeks.
Well, just over 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks. So, don't go overboard right now, although he's got a big long list. I gave him a notebook, too, to write in, and he's been writing down a big long list and getting on his Kindle, looking at eBay and telling me all these pens he wanted.
I know he got me on eBay, thegouletpin.com.
Goulet? Yeah.
Yes, but most of them pins were not cheap.
Yeah, a lot of the ones he was looking at were a little more expensive. But
I know they were like 100 plus, or about the lowest I could find was 28. But on eBay, I found some that were about 99 cents, and if they were 99 cents, it was $1, about 20.
Yep. So, he'll be getting some. Now, let's go to the dollar pen. I bought one of these earlier in the year. It's not a bad looking pen. It's an Ahau. I just saw someone from Australia do a review on this pen. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about the Ahau. When I first bought it, I figured 99 cents. What the heck? It's a semi-hooded nib. It wrote terrible. It was scratchy. It came with cartridges. So I put the cartridge in. It was horrendous. I could barely get it to write. And after setting it down for a day or two, it wouldn't write at all. So I was like, cheap garbage pen. So what I did was a couple months later, which just within the past several days of recording this, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. He got this working, then he, once he got it working, I wanted a pen with blue-black ink, and now here's this pen that is a Ahau and it has blue-black ink.
Now, here's what I did with this one and with this one. One night I decided I am not going to be defeated. This one here is my very first fountain pen. I got it writing a while back. After 20-some years, I flushed it out and got it working. And so what I did was I got a cartridge, and actually the only cartridge I would find that would fit it was from the Ahau. Ahau cartridges fit this pen, and I didn't even know what brand this pen was. So I was able to actually get a little bit of ink to flow, and then it just stopped. Well, this pen had an Ahau cartridge in it, got it to flow a little bit, and then it just plain stopped and wrote horribly. So I got to thinking, what was in common was the Ahau ink. So I took these two pens, I flushed them out really, really good yet again, and so I took the Ahau cartridge that was in this pen out. I flushed out that cartridge, and I put a good ink in it. And then, lo and behold, once I put in a proper ink that actually wrote halfway decent, suddenly it started to write, and it wrote really, really well. So I actually got a page here. I'll show you that as well, what that writing sample looked like. But what I did was I put in a Diatramentis black blue into it, and it wrote really, really well. So I took the cartridge similarly. That was for this Ahau, with Ahau cartridge. I took it out, I flushed it out, and in this one I put in a Noodler's Green Cactus Eel because the pen is green, and it writes better than the day when I first bought it. So, here's what I'm learning. Never, ever, ever underestimate the value of a good flushing of your pens. And number two, if ink can really, really be a detriment or it can be a benefit. I found that out already when I ordered a Lamy 2000. And my Lamy 2000 did not work as well as I had hoped. I had some Hero ink, which was the only bottle of ink I owned at the time. It was fairly inexpensive and it worked great in my Waterman. And so what I ended up doing is I flushed it out really well and I put in a decent ink, a Diamine Onyx Black, and it writes great now. So I took the same tact with these two. I flushed out the cheap garbage ink that was in them, and I put in a quality ink, and after flushing them out, and they work great. So take that as a tip, something I learned the hard way, that inks do make a big difference. Cheap inks are not necessarily fantastic. Spring for a good ink, and if you've got a really crappy writing pen, even an expensive pen, I mean the Lamy 2000, they go for like $169 brand new. I didn't pay that much, but you know, that's not a cheap pen. So, flush them. Now, the other thing I found, my pen of the day. My pen of the day was going to be this one, my Pilot Metropolitan. It was on, hadn't used it in a while, so I picked it up. And I've got a Pilot Vanishing Point. Well, this one is a Pilot Vanishing Ink because I only had the cartridge in it. Because it came with it, and it was writing well, and it had one of those aerometric converters I was not going to use. So I went ahead and put in the ink cartridge from Pilot, and I went to go pull it out today. It was empty. Like, what the heck? I haven't used it that much, so the incredible Vanishing Ink. So what I went ahead and did was I flushed out this pen really well, and I had already purchased a C50 cartridge, or converter, a C50 converter. So I put that in there, and now I've got some nice ink in there. So, buddy, this just wraps up my update on pens and advice I ran across along the way. And yeah, go ahead, buddy, because I got some questions for you.
This is a Platinum Peppy, which is as you can see clear, which has black ink in it, and it writes really good. And I like this ink too. It is poppy red, and this is a black pen with like a gold trim.
Jinhao X450. Yep.
And, this was my very first fountain pen I got like 2 months ago, about.
Yeah, and then a little while ago, a few days ago, he announced to me several things. One, he wanted to collect them, so I helped him out.
He gave me all of these right here. And this is the pen he gave me today, which I didn't know. He kind of surprised me. And same with
your Esterbrook, we did the same way. I just kind of snuck the Esterbrook into your leather pouch.
I didn't even know, but I don't know when he did it, but he kind of surprised me. The next day I found out, I looked at my pen collection because I was going to write something. And I figured out he put this in, and it has a black ink in it, and with Esterbrook you have to use them often or it will kind of dry out on you.
At least these gray ones do, I found. Yep. And I gave another Esterbrook to your grandma. So now your grandma has a pen that's even older than she is. So I'm down a couple of Esterbrooks, but at least I've got this desk set. So. And
I like the way this pen looks. So did my Nana, and she wanted a pen like this, and I already told her it doesn't have ink in it, but she said I know. And then she liked it. She said she wanted a gray pen like this.
Well, she got a black one, and I think I gave her the one with green ink in it. So, well, let me ask you a couple questions, buddy, since you're sitting here with me. what is it that you even like about pens, your fountain pens? Because you started to do your homework, your second grade homework. Here he was sitting at this very table and doing homework with his Jinhao 599 with green ink. So
this one, I had diamine, green emerald. I kind of like that, and then I had to flush it out, and I didn't really like the pen. Now I used to like it, but I started writing with it some more, and I started not to like it. But the thing I like about fountain pens is if you only had one, it really isn't that fun, because you will have to use this pen every single day if you wanted to write something without a pencil or a marker or crayon. So
so that's what you like about pens, is that you
Yeah.
can have diversity?
yeah, and also
Okay.
I like that you surprised me with pens like these two.
Mm-hmm. So why do you want to collect them, though? Is it just so you can have a bunch, or just so you can, hey, I got a bunch of pens.
No, I don't do it because because I like fountain pens, and so I can see how all the different fountain pens write, and if I like them, and then if I like them, I can buy some more, but different brand. Like if this is a 599, and I wanted another Jinhao, it can be like 801 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever other number you got.
I know, because that's the thing I like about fountain pens, so you don't have to use the very, very same pen over and over again. And you can also have different pens and try out different inks. And also you can see how the pens write, like this one. I have not tried this one yet, but I want to try it sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the 1980 Schiefer. I think he did in the...
Yeah, it was a Schaefer.
And I think he used this in the handmade deer antler
Right.
video.
Yep.
And if you did not see that, I wish you would, because I liked it. I liked the video, and he had this one that was kind of fat, and he has something that can hold it instead of fitting it in his drawer.
Okay. Now, out of your collection, which one is your favorite?
I don't really have one. I have 7.
Okay. How about out of my collection? Out of all my collection, which one is your favorite?
I'd say probably... Wait. Is this the Montblanc?
No, it's this one right here.
Well, I don't really
Get
have
this.
a pen. Okay.
All right, come back and sit over here.
Montblanc.
So, get this. And this is not the first time he's told me this. He said that his favorite out of my whole collection was one of my Montblancs. And
He only has one of the expensive. It costs $100 plus or close to 100.
don't give away all the secrets, kiddo. So here, he played with one of my Montblancs. And
I liked it.
he liked it. So he liked how the way it felt in his hand. He liked the way it wrote. Now, personally, I'm not a big lover of fine fountain pens, but the fine nib he liked. And so, you know what he's been asking me? Can you get me a Montblanc now? So that's what he's shooting for. So is that what you want next? Is a Montblanc?
Yes. Oh, but this is my favorite. I just came up with one. Of this
Just
one.
came up with it.
I know, because I was thinking about all the pens I tried, and I may have a new favorite if I like this pen, because I haven't tried it yet, and this is probably my second favorite. The
Esterbrook.
Yeah, the
Esterbrook
Esterbrook.
J.
I like the way it looks. It's a great pen.
Okay. Well, buddy, let's wrap up our video.
You may want to start collecting pens. It's pretty fun to do.
Well,
And,
you heard it right from his mouth. One of the newest and youngest collectors I know, my very own son. But I think my wife is going to start collecting too, because today she just said, "That's it, I'm an addict."
And maybe my baby brother will, once he starts know how to write and draw and he's
only 5
right now, and he has not got to school. He'll start back in fall when school starts back.
He'll start in kindergarten. So.
And he says he's gonna come to me every time he sees me and ask me to pick him up,
So.
which
all
I'm
right.
not gonna do.
All right, we promised you some of our ink samples. You know that Lingmo Lorelei I talked about? That just came in the mail today. I went ahead and inked that up with a J. Airbomb Poussière de Lune, which means moon dust, for those of you who don't know. Here was a Sargasso C. What I had done was, for his Schaefer pen, I went ahead and took the cartridge out of that Schaefer 100, and I put it in his Schaefer, and went ahead and put my only Schaefer converter into my Schaefer 100 and filled it with Sargasso C. So, showing you some of these others, the Esterbrook desk set, that's a Noodler's Bad Black Moccasin, and actually writes fairly well. I got a chance to pick out the best nib that I had, which actually turned out, by its description and its number, definitely not one I thought it would be. That TWSBI Eco, the Pilot and Miki Blue. That writes really, really sweet. And yeah, I got ink all over my hands from today. But so that TWSBI Eco wrote a whole lot better than I expected it to. It was very smooth, and that ink, the Pilot and Miki Blue, was not bad at all. The Nemesine Singularity, I tell you what, I was surprised with that one too. That wrote really, really nice. It's a medium nib. It writes fairly juicy for a medium nib. And Rohrer and Klinger Cassia. I'll show you that pen some other time because it's in my wife's pocketbook. I'm not about to go get it. That Pilot Varsity Disposable, it writes okay. Now, it's a little bit scratchy, but it writes okay. I mean, it's a $3.50 pen, so what do you expect? That Pilot Metropolitan that I just filled and told you about, well, that medium nib, I put in that Diamine Presidential Blue, and that actually worked out really, really well. Now, I told you about the Ahau. I had a lot of problems with that Ahau pen. And I went ahead and flushed that sucker out, and I told you that I put in some new ink into the cartridge, which you kind of need a syringe and a needle to do that. But I put in that Diatramentis black blue, and it writes really, really smoothly. And my oldest pen that I've got, how I flushed that sucker out, and basically I put in, get this, I had an Ahau. So the Ahau, I could not get an international standard cartridge to work in that Ahau pen, so it was really bizarre. So in that old pen that I got, I could only get an Ahau cartridge to fit in it. I could never get any of my international standard cartridges or converters to go into it. So I went ahead and took one from a Jinhao 599, and that was one of the only international standard cartridges I had that fit it, so I was able to fill it up with a Noodler's Green Cactus Eel, so that worked out really, really well. Now, my Lamy 99 I told you about, it's got a nice medium nib. It writes fairly smooth. I put Pilot Iroshizuku Konpeki Blue. That was from an ink sample that I got. And you know, I had showed you previously that Schaefer No Nonsense. That's the one actually my son was talking about, and I had Liberty's Elysium in it. Well, anyway, that's it. That's our video for this time. Just a few updates, some new additions, a few more recommendations, and my cat wants to get in the video again and say goodbye. So here she comes. All right, Muff Muff, come here, sweetheart. That's my kitty.
She's a good cat. She's loving, and we bought my mom a dog like 2 years ago, and he's pretty loving too.
All right, we gotta go. Bye.
Bye.